What's up YouTube, it's Sid back again today with another video, and today in this video we are doing the Disney World Q&A. So there's 18 questions on this list, so I'm going to go through and give my honest answers for this. Let me know in the comments below if your answers are different than mine, because like I said, these are just all my opinions. These aren't like anything official, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so the first question is, when was your first time at Disney World? So I mentioned this in my introduction video. My first time I went to Disney World, I was 6 years old. We went for my birthday in November, so it was just a good time. I think one of the most vivid memories I have from being 6 years old is sitting in Chef Mickey's and getting like the birthday cupcake thing, and then also seeing the fireworks for the first time. I feel like that's a very big thing that you don't get to see every day, and I had never seen fireworks like that before or a castle that big, so that was just like such a cool memory for me. Second question is, what is your favorite park? This is kind of hard. I really had a definite favorite park until this last time we went to Disney, and I really loved every single park that time except for Magic Kingdom, just because it was a really long, hectic day. I actually was in the parade that day. I got to march down Main Street. I'll put a few pictures up with my band, and that was really, really cool, but it was so stressful and such a long day. I think my ultimate answer is Hollywood Studios. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to like it this much when we go this time around, because everything's so closed still and Toy Story Land isn't open yet, so I really don't know. I really enjoyed Animal Kingdom a lot this time, and I also really liked Epcot, so I really don't know. I think ultimately Hollywood Studios, but we'll see. Question 3 is, what is your favorite land in the Magic Kingdom? This is kind of a hard one, but I think I'm going to have to say Frontierland, just because I love pin trading, and the pin trading outpost that is there is just so cool. As you can see, I've still got all of my pins laid out here, and I just love Frontierland. It's so laid back and chill, and I feel like there's not as many people there. I really don't do well in big crowds. Like, I'm okay with it, but I would rather, I don't know anyone who like enjoys big crowds, obviously, but I would rather be in like the chill, like not in the full immersed scene of that. I like Tomorrowland when it's later at night and there's not as many people there, and there's like the cool little kiddie area that they just like do music and stuff and they just dance and have a great time. That's always cool to watch. I love Space Mountain, of course, so love Tomorrowland, love Frontierland, but I think I love Frontierland a little bit more. Question 4, what is the first Disney movie you saw in theaters? Oh my goodness, I have to think back. No, hang on. I have to do some math. I want to say probably Finding Nemo, because Finding Nemo came out in 2003, so I was 2 then. So I'm guessing Finding Nemo. I really don't know that one. I think Finding Nemo. I do remember going to see Bolt when I was like 6 or 7. I don't even remember when Bolt came out, so maybe Bolt? I don't know. Number 5 is, what type of Disney item do you collect the most? I think this one's kind of obvious. It's pins. I love pins. I'm obsessed with them. I spend way too much money on them, but they're so worth it and they're so great and they're so little, and I can take them to college when I go to college, and I can just take a corkboard. It'll be great. Which Disney voice character would you like to meet? Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I feel like John Ratzenberg would be so fun to meet because I just love his voice and he's hilarious. If you guys don't know who John Ratzenberg is, he's like in every single Pixar movie and he always shows up and he's always so funny. So definitely John Ratzenberg. I really don't know who else. I'm trying to think. Who's the guy that does Olaf? I feel like he'd be fun to talk to. Number 7 is, what is the most underrated Disney movie in your opinion? That is such a good question. I feel like recently I say Cars. And the only reason I say Cars is because I feel like I see a bunch of Pixar fans out there that really don't like Cars and really don't like the franchise. And I think that's so strange because Pixar Cars is like up there, like top favorite Pixar movie ever. Cars 2 was awful. I 100% agree with that, but I think for real, like Cars 1 was so good, and I really, really loved Cars. So I think Cars is very underrated. I'm trying to think of what else is like really underrated in my opinion. I think Hunchback of Notre Dame is underrated. That's such a good movie. I almost feel like Big Hero 6 is underrated. It's my all-time favorite Disney Animation Studio movie. And I feel like a lot of people either really love it or really don't like it. So I feel like it's just that one of those middle movies that people are kind of undecided on. And so I guess you could say that's a little underrated. I don't know. Number 8 is favorite Disney hotel. So I've only ever stayed at 2 Disney hotels. I've stayed at Pop Century when I go with my family, and Disney's All-Star Music Resort when I went with my band. And then this time we're going to Disney All-Star Movies, which my parents are like not for, but I was so for it, and I love movies and I just love filming, so it had to happen eventually. So we decided to do it this time around. Everything we're doing for this Disney trip is really weird. We're going in the spring. We've never done that. We're going in to a new hotel. It's just very different. So I love Pop Century, and I will swear by Pop Century. I swear it's such a great resort. I love it so much. But this also being said, I'm kind of biased because I really haven't like seen any of the other resorts. I mean, I've been to shoot, what's the one that has Chef Mickey? Okay, yeah, I just looked it up. Chef Mickey is at the Contemporary Resort. So I like the Contemporary in that sense. Probably wouldn't stay at the Contemporary. I've always wanted to go see the Grand Floridian just because I've heard that the pin trading there is awesome. So I would love to go to the Grand Floridian sometime in my life, but I really don't know. I have always told my grandma, because she typically goes with us on all of our Disney trips, I've always told her that one day when I have enough money, I'm going to take her and my family to go stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. That's super expensive. And I feel like Disney hotels really aren't supposed to be big, but if you can afford big, go for it. Like, why not? Because the hotel is really serving one purpose, and that's for you to have a place to sleep. Because you're typically in the parks all day. But this time around that we're going, we're not spending every single day that we're on Disney property at a Disney park, if that makes sense. Like, we're not going to be in the parks every single day. So I guess that makes sense to have a nice hotel to stay at. I would love to do Animal Kingdom Lodge, Boardwalk looks fun, and the Wilderness Lodge looks really cool. And of course, staying in Cinderella's Castle would be amazing. So ultimately, my answer is Pop Century. Sorry, these questions are just get so long. I love talking about Disney. It's an issue. Question number 9 is, what is your favorite ride? Oh my goodness, favorite. I think I have to say Everest. No, I can't say Everest. I love Everest so much. So before this past trip to Disney, so the first time we ever went to Disney, my parents put me on the Tower of Terror, and it's what made me scared of roller coasters for the rest of like my existence, basically. I hated it so much, and I thought I was gonna die. My parents thought social services were gonna show up at their door because I was screaming, and it was just so bad. It was so bad. It was a bad experience. So this past time we went to Disney, we got to do this super cool experience with my band that involved us staying really late at Hollywood Studios, and we had the park kind of shut down to ourselves. That's a story for another time as well, but the moral of the story is I got on, one of my friends convinced me to get on the Rock and Roller Coaster, and I rode it 22 times that night, or 23 times that night, so that's probably my favorite Disney ride just because of the memory that goes with it, and it was just so cool getting on and off and like just going back and forth again. Like, it was just so neat, so cool. So that was really a cool experience. So I think I have to say Rock and Roller Coaster, but I love Everest, and I don't think you can call it a ride, but Toy Story Mania is great too. Question number 10 kind of goes along with the last question, and it is, what is your least favorite ride at a Disney park? So, least favorite ride is obviously Tower of Terror. Like I said in the last one, can't do it, hate it, can't put me back on it, couldn't pay me enough to put me back on it. So yeah, just Tower of Terror. Everything about that ride just really freaks me out. I really just don't like it. Okay, next question is, what is your favorite show at the parks? So this one is kind of easy for me just because it's never changed. I've always really loved it. I don't really know what they mean by show, so live show, Lion King for sure. And then as far as 4D goes, PhilharMagic. Number 12 is, what is your favorite attraction that is no longer at one of the parks? So, okay, Hollywood Studios, I'm just gonna bring it back up because Hollywood Studios. So Hollywood Studios for sure takes up a lot of this for me just because they're changing so much of it, and I loved Hollywood Studios, how it was. But I'm excited to see what they're doing with it. It's gonna be good. I know it's gonna be good. But for now, it's a little sad. So Hollywood Studios used to do this thing. It was called the Osborne Family Light Show, and they did it every Christmas. And that's when they had Main Street, and they would just fill Main Street with lights. And it was so cool and so amazing. And like the lights would dance to the music. I remember being 13 years old, and I was sitting on a bench, and I was with my friend who was there with us, and we were just like waiting for our family or whatever. I remember being 13 years old and like sitting with her, and we were just listening to the music and watching the lights, and it's just one of my favorite memories in Hollywood Studios. It's seriously like top 5 favorite memories for me. So that memory itself that goes with the Osborne Family Lights is great. I don't really know if you can call that an attraction. I also don't know if you can call Pizza Planet an attraction, but I really miss that in Hollywood Studios. That was so cool. As far as attraction and Epcot, I miss the original Soarin'. I like it better than the new one. However, I do like the musical score still, so I don't know. I just miss the old Soarin'. Next question is monorail or ferry? I remember we took a ferry over to Magic Kingdom. I've done that before. But I think ultimately monorail just because I like being up higher and I like being able to see everything. Plus my family gets kind of seasick, so I don't do sickness. I don't like being around people who are sick like that, so probably monorail for sure. Question 14 is, what is the saddest moment in a Disney film? Oh my goodness, the one movie that makes me cry every single time I see it is The Good Dinosaur. I feel like every single scene in that movie makes me cry. Without spoiling too much, I have to say in The Good Dinosaur there's some scenes where some stuff happens to the family and it's just sad. It's just an overall sad movie, so definitely Good Dinosaur and some of the scenes in that movie. Question 15 is, what is your favorite Disney villain? Man, there's so many funny villains in these movies that are honestly, I love Hans. I think he's such a sneaky villain. Not that any of the other villains aren't sneaky, but Hans is just so cruel. There's something about that cruelty that just makes me love it. It's kind of like karma of it. I don't know. I love Hans in that sense. I mean, of course, you have to love Syndrome from The Incredibles. I love him too. His character development is great. Next question is, what is your favorite Disney princess or prince? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I love Snow White because it's just the first Disney princess and I just love her motives. But I think my all-time favorite Disney princess is Tiana, just because I love her work ethic. She's so strong and I just think she's so great. I also really like Rapunzel, just because it's Rapunzel and I love the color purple. And just the whole atmosphere of that movie is so cool, and how she stands up to her mom is great because she knows that there's a life outside of what she's seen. And she wants to go explore, and I think that's important in life. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. This is a longer video, I'm sure. I know it is, so thank you guys for sticking with me if you have this long. Make sure you comment down below your answers to these questions, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye guys.
I like me better when I'm with you.